Navajopa and I have been discussing pruning okra. And if any of you know anything about this, let us know, because we had never heard of it before. And I hope this video turns out alright. I just bought a new camera, so I'm not sure how to use it or exactly what I'll end up with here, but here goes. Bernard, I have several plants that are multiple stemmed. You can see this one here. I have the 2 rows of okra, and mine are running north-south. And on this row, I haven't pruned any of these. And some of them have put out a little bit of growth. You can see that it's nothing significant. The majority of them haven't put out any new growth. That one there has a little bit. But you can see it's mighty puny that it's putting out. All along here is nothing. And this one is huge. You look at the trunk on that. But I don't see any major, well, I don't see any new growth on that. Here's another one that's multiple stemmed. And this okra, let's see, right here is about 5 feet tall. And so they're pushing about 8 feet tall now. And they've gotten to the point that they're so tall, I just can't reach them to pick them anymore. So what I've been thinking is that I'm going to cut these back to about 4 feet tall, and maybe there'll be enough time left for them to branch out, and before frost hits, I might be able to get a little more off of them. Because as it is, since I can't pick them anymore, I wouldn't lose anything. So here's a few more. And as you can see, I don't have any major growth on the ones that I haven't pruned. And over here on this row, I pruned some of them, not these. You see I have no growth, but I pruned this one. And this one had 2 stems on it. As you can see, I have some nice healthy growth here. And on this branch, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 new branches coming off of it. And on the other one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other one. And I cut these off about 4.5 feet tall. Right here and right there. And what I found is, on the ones that were multiple stemmed and that I pruned both of the stems, I ended up with a lot of growth coming out. This one had 2 stems and I pruned both of them. This one had 1 stem, and as you can see, I have new growth coming out of it. There's one, looks like 1, 2, 3 new places where it's going to produce okra. On this one, I pruned this branch, but I didn't see that one, so I didn't prune it. And as a result, I don't have any new growth on it. It looks like if they're multiple stemmed, you have to prune all of the stems, or else you don't get good results. This one had 2 stems. I pruned this one, but not that one, and I only ended up with 1 new branch coming off. It looks like it's, when you do that, it only tries to replace itself. It doesn't give you anything extra. This one had 3 stems, and I pruned this one, but I don't have any new growth coming from it. This one was a single stem that I pruned. You can see I have 3 new stems coming from that. This one was 1, 2. I pruned both of these, and as you can see, I'm getting a lot of new growth. This one was a single stem, and it's putting out growth. This one had 2 stems. I didn't prune that one. This one had 3 stems. I pruned this stem, but not the other 2. And I just have that one right there. It's like if it was multiple stems and you didn't prune all the stems, then the one that you did cut tries to replace itself, but it doesn't do anything else. And this one had 2 stems. I pruned that one, and it's trying to replace itself. This was a single stem plant, and as you can see, I got a lot of new growth coming on that. And this one was a single stem, and it's starting to put out growth. Then everything else down the line I didn't prune. So that's how it's been going. And I pruned these about 4 weeks ago. So if you prune them like that, you will lose the production for at least a month. But then you might end up tripling or quadrupling production once they start bearing again, once the new shoots start bearing. So if you do it early enough, it might be a good payback. And I wonder if you pruned them when they're, say, a foot tall or so, how that would go. And I had so much rain this year. This is one of the few times I've seen this ground dry this year. And pretty much just about everything in my garden drowned from the rain. You can see the green beans. I didn't get many off of it. They rotted at the roots because it was so wet. But the okra just thrived in spite of it all. And this end of the garden is low. The lima beans there have survived, but they haven't done all that well compared to the ones up in the center of the garden where it's a little bit higher, and I'll show you that. So here's how the lima beans did up here where it's drier. So you can see that okra has, if the okra had been in this situation, there's no telling what it would have done. But I know you said you haven't had much luck with your butter beans either. And I haven't gotten hardly any off of these vines. And look what they did here. They've run up that tree all the way up to the top of that tree. And these vines must be 30-40 feet long. And of course those up there are producing. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on some of that. Now the zoom will work. They're blooming. So hopefully, once the vines dry, if there's any beans on it, then I can pull the vines out of the tree and pick the beans off. So that's how the butter beans are doing. They're blooming well now. So there's hope for them yet. So that's how the okra pruning's going. Hope it helps.